Hi everyone, welcome back. Hope you guys are having a great day. So this is a clip from a previously recorded video. This is a much shorter clip of it. But as always, not financial advice, for entertainment only. Do your own research. And I'm investing in closing companies. And if you enjoy this type of content, hit the like button, subscribe, helps me out tremendously. And let's get into the clip. So Cleanspark releases April 2023 Bitcoin mining update. Here's what Zach had to say. The results of these efforts is that while we have mined fewer Bitcoin this month, the Bitcoin we have mined is being driven to our bottom line. As we look to the next few months, we expect Washington to be fully energized, which will pump our hash rate as we maintain our competitive edge in these tight market conditions. And then we are looking forward to sharing our quarterly performance in more detail, including some exciting updates on our expansion plans in Washington and Sandersville on our earnings call next week. So that will be interesting to see what they're planning, if they're planning to get beyond the 16 exahash that they had targeted for this year. So that might be interesting to take a listen on that one. Okay. Here's a production update. So Bitcoin mined in April was 524, which is less than in March. Total BTC holdings as of April was 313, so that is an increase. Total BTC converted for operations and growth in April was 407, and then currently deployed fleet of about 67,700 miners at 6.7 exahash. So no change in that right now. Okay, and let's see here. I think that's it. Let's take a look at the numbers that we do have for them, and we'll go over it all. Okay, so Cleanspark has about almost 78 million shares outstanding, roughly. Its stock price is about $3. It's down a little bit today, around $3.60, 70 cents, something like that. Market cap is 287 million. They are way undervalued, in my opinion, based on where some of the other miners are at right now that have a lower hash rate, but have grown quite nicely. And if you compare Cleanspark's growth over the last 12 months, 15 months really from last year, they've had fantastic growth, continuing to grow every single month, and they're going to continue to do that once they get Sandersville and Washington up and running completely. Get miners in there. They should be growing to 16 exahash by the end of this year and potentially more. Okay, so current hash rate 6.7 exahash. Future hash rate is about 15.8. That's reported right now. They have a lot to grow still. 9 exahash left, 42% operational, 135% growth left in them. Their BTC HODL is 313, valued about 8.8 million. And their BTC HODL value of their market cap is only 2.9%. The rest is their hash rate. Hash rate left, we already talked about that. BTC HODL 313. BTC mined was 524. BTC sold was 407. There's the charts for that. And then you can see their BTC production. Their best month was in January at 697. But since then, February was a down month. We had less days. We had 3 days less than in January. Had only 28 days in February. March, they went back up, and April came back down. And during that whole time, we've had the network hash rate go up, difficulty go up. So everybody's mining less if they stay the same with their hash rate. Month-over-month difference BTC mined, you can see here how that's kind of been going up for the most part. And then we had a couple months here where it kind of dipped a little bit here. We've only had really 3 months out of 12 or so that have dipped. BTC HODL, you can see that they have been selling a large portion of it, but they've also been hodling a little bit here. They definitely sold a lot in September. September was the reason that they sold was for the purchase of the Sandersville facility from Mawson. That got them down to 290. Then they went down to 100 in February, and they've been growing that ever since here this year. So that's good to see that as well, that they are hodling a little bit. And I'm sure they're going to use that to buy more miners possibly or for expansion. BTC efficiency is right now at 78.2, so it's kind of what we saw in BitDigital as well. BitDigital was, let's see what BitDigital was. BTC efficiency was 71, so that's actually higher than BitDigital. BitDigital is typically one of the top 3 miners as far as efficiency is concerned. So Cleanspark should be within that range for this month as well, being at 78. They were at 89 here in March. BTC sold, you can see how much they've been selling here throughout the months that we've been tracking it. And then hash rate and revenue, we can see here that their hash rate, like I said, ever since the beginning of last year of 2022, they've had fantastic growth all the way to 6.6 and then 6.7 exahash here. And they're just now kind of getting ready to start that ramp up again, possibly at the end of this quarter, going into next quarter as well. We'll see how those numbers are going to impact their hash rate growth there. Monthly revenue, Bitcoin was coming down here throughout the last year. They were able to actually get increases in their revenue from month to month for the most part, except for November, December, where Bitcoin really dumped hard down to 15,000 by the end of December. And then January, they had a nice increase when they had mined a lot more Bitcoin, but they also, I think, curtailed in December as well, which was a reason for that decrease there. But overall, they're about 15 million right now a month in revenue, 15.12 here for the month of April, which is still really good there. Hash rate growth, you can see how fast they grew here throughout the year. 924, almost 1 exahash being added in October, 700 being added in December, 400 in January, and then a little bit here in March, 99. Bitcoin sold value, you can see that there. Last 4 quarters. Q4 was basically Q3 in 2022. And that was when pretty much everybody was pretty low as far as production was concerned. But they were able to go back up in Q1, and now this was Q1 or Q4 in 2022. Q1, which is this one here, is a nice increase for them as well. 42 million possibly is estimated right now. Operating costs did increase here in Q1, which is Q4 of 2022. Their calendar year ends in Q3 of 2022, so this kind of gets confusing a little bit on that one. Okay, other metrics, cost to mine Bitcoin has been coming down through Q4. Q1 went up a little bit here to 13.3. Bitcoin mines quarterly, you can see that it has been increasing nicely here, which is what we want to see. Their debt to equity has been growing a little bit here, but not too bad. It's still 0.139 here at the end of Q1 or Q4. Current ratio has been coming down a little bit, which isn't too bad, but we'd like to see that come back up a little bit to at least a 1 or better. Total current assets, we can see that's been kind of all over the place depending on when they're buying miners, buying facilities. They pull on that trigger quite a bit there. And then total current liabilities has increased a little bit as they've grown, obviously, to get larger in size. Now, institutions has increased here, 265 institutions for them. They also increased a little bit in shares to 25.9 million from 25.4 million, which is good. And then percentage owned is up to 33.38 from 32.67, which is also good. And then as far as analyst ratings, we still have the 1 strong buy, 3 buy ratings, 0 hold, 0 underperform, 0 sells. Price targets of $12, and for the high, $7.75 for the average and $5 for the low, which is, I think, on the very, very low end of things. I have them currently with the combined total of 141 million. This includes, let me see if I can pull this up. So the last 3 quarters includes basically the first quarter of 2023, and then which is an estimate right now, and then we have the 2 reported quarters, their Q1 that they reported on, and Q4 here in September. And then we're also using the latest quarter here, which is up the current quarter. So that's how we're getting the combined total of 141. 50% net income with a P of 20, they should be around $18.16. The reason I'm at P of 20 is because of their growth. They're going to be growing to about 16 exahash this year. They're going to be basically in the top 3-4 miners if you include Core in that or not, depending on Core if it gets out of bankruptcy. But right now it would be basically Marathon would be number 1. Cleanspark would be number 2 if you don't include Core. If you include Core, they would be number 3, I believe, at 16 exahash. And then you got Riot at number 4 spot or number 3 spot, depending on if you include Core in that. Okay, so that's why I think they are way undervalued. They should be valued at much higher rating than this. So I'm looking at $18.16 with a 50% net income, 75% net income, looking at $27.23. And the reason for that is because they don't have a lot of shares still out. They only have 78 million shares right now, which if you look at some of the other miners like Marathon and Riot, they have over 100, close to 200,000 million shares out. So that's why they should get a little bit better price premium on the stock to be valued closer to those guys, I think. Right, so they're valued at 300 million right now. They should be at least probably like 1.2 billion right now, at least 4 times where they are right now. Okay, so like I said, they are way undervalued in my opinion. But as always, not financial advice. Do your own research on this. I think they're going to do really well this year, and I think eventually retail investors will notice their growth here and will kind of pile in a little bit more towards later on in the year. Okay, so that's it for Cleanspark. Let me know what you guys think of them, and let's get into the last one here, which is going to be